Okay, so this is the third part to my tutorial. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to finish up my brows. This is a pencil. It's a defining mechanical brow pencil, also by M.A.C. The color I'll be using today is called Strut. The reason why I'm using this color is because I'm going to have my natural hair out today. And this is the lighter color that I've mentioned in other videos that I use when I wear my natural hair, or if I have a wig on that's more in this other color. It's more of like a brownish red color. The pencil is really, really small. So if you need to create hairs or fill in sparse hairs, this is the best tool that I've also been using for many, many years that I love. So I'm just going to go ahead on into my defining my brows. I really start on the bottom of it to create the outline of it. Because my brows are darker than the pencil, I try to do the outline first and you know, just go right over that color. See, so these are girls with really thin brows. You don't have to dye your eyebrows. In fact, I think it's a little crazy to dye your eyebrows. I mean, it's actually even okay to have darker eyebrows in your hair. But girls who have really light hair, you know, like their brows to match. Unless you're a blonde, you don't want your brows to be like, you'll look out a little bit albino, which is nothing wrong with that. But most people who have really light hair want their brows darker. And I find that my hair color that I have on the bottom of my hair, because it's kind of looking ombre-like since I've been growing it out. I don't really go any lighter than a brownish red. Maybe I'll be different and maybe try a wig that's lighter. But I haven't got that adventurous. I do have a curly wig that's kind of on the lighter side, but I don't think I would look good in blonde. But you know, there's a lot of celebrities out there that are African American that wear their hair blonde, that are basically my complexion, if not darker, and they seem to be fine about it. So, you know, it's to each his own. If you want to be bold and different, that's one way to do it. I just never been that bold and different with my hair color. I always feel like I can be bold and different with makeup, so I always choose makeup to really bring out that you know, boldness or to my look. I always use, like, you know, clothing. I don't like really bleaching or dyeing my hair, but the dye that I use on my hair I'll touch upon in another video. I don't dye my hair often. I may dye it maybe 2 times a year, spring and summer. And that's it, because normally fall and winter I pretty much wear protective styles, and I don't really wear my hair out. I think I heard my husband knock on the door, but I think I locked it while I'm filming. Actually told him I'm filming before I started, so he should already know I'm here filming. But if I have to stop the video or at least pause it and come back, you'll understand why. But I'm actually filming a little later than I normally film, because anytime I post another video, I want to make sure I put all my description in it. I think what I forgot to do is put all my tags in there, but I just remembered that, so I got to make sure I remember to do that. I also like to tag my video, so I won't upload any more videos until I've at least tagged them and wrote the full description of at least what's in my video, what I'm wearing, what's on my head, what jewelry I'm wearing, what I'm using on my hands. My hands are a little bit ashier today because I applied different lipsticks on my hand, and I used micellar water, but sometimes it does that. And I thought it was my cotton ball, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the cotton ball. So I'm not really sure on that one, but I did give a tutorial on that. I'm still trying to crack the case on why that happens. But I think I'm pretty much finished with my brows, so I can move on to my face. But my brows, you know, most girls can agree with me. Your brows are really important in your face. It frames your face, and if they don't look quite right, I just feel like it's off, you know. Even if you do your whole makeup and you don't do your brows right, or your brows are not groomed, it's just something that's just not, it's just off. So I find defining a brow, that's the brow look that I normally do. I've had this shape for years. One seems like it's more arched than the other. And see, that's where I went maybe wrong. They don't look symmetric. This one's giving me more drama than the other one. I mean, but they look even when you look front forward, so I don't want to waste my whole video messing with my brows. Maybe I'll just curve this one under a little bit more so it looks like it's the same. But like I said, you know, your brows are really important. So any girls that wear makeup, if you girls don't groom your brows, it really can make a difference, make or break your makeup. So there, basically that's my eye look. There is my completed brow, highlighted underneath with the eyeshadow Arena. The brow bone, my brow itself has Strut, and my eyelid has Groundwork as a paint pot, and then I have a pressed powder in that. But like I said, all that's in the description. And after I do like maybe about 5 videos, I think this is my 4th time filming. I'll maybe do one more video and really be extensive. I'm sorry that I'm repeating myself a lot, but I'm trying to treat it like this is the first video you guys seen of mine. So I want everyone to be able to follow along. But going forward, I may not be this extensive and may just swing through my videos a little bit more faster. But that's basically my eye look. I now am ready to start my foundation. My technique on how I contour and how I was taught to contour is that some ladies put the contouring underneath their makeup. I was taught by M.A.C, I went to a M.A.C event, you put your full makeup on and your contouring goes over your makeup. So the pressed foundation, all of my contouring is going to be all with powder. My first one I'm using is M.A.C Studio Fix. All of the powder foundations I'm using are all going to be powder foundations. I've said it in my other videos. NW45 is the color I use on my whole face. The next color is NW50. That's when I want to contour and not be as dramatic. I like the build. The last one is NW58, and that's that color. So I'm going to put all 3 up so you can see, to get an idea of the variation that you would need to achieve the look that you want. And you can do this with any foundation. You want to start your basic color, you want to start a medium color, and then your darkest color. So first and foremost, I'm going to get out my kit again, and the second brush I use out of this kit, I've shown it in other videos. It's a Victoria's Secret brush kit. I'm using my largest brush, which is I use on my face powder. I never clean it unless I need to wash it, but I'm very anal about keeping my brushes clean. And I want to make sure I have NW45. So I don't want to put the wrong foundation on my face. I'm very much anal about that because I believe in having clean brushes so you don't break out. The other thing I wanted to show you that's inside the makeup compact is it comes with a little sponge. I normally don't use a sponge often, but when I feel like I need to concentrate on certain areas, like around my mouth, where if I feel like it's dark, I normally put it around my mouth area. I don't really use concealers to even my skin out. I normally do this to clean up my eyeshadow right underneath my eye. And this is just my foundation I would be using all over my whole face. Around my nose I do sometimes, just to make sure I get pigment around that. And my chin. You want to make sure you cover that. And I don't use a lot of makeup on my skin. That's why I think I'm comfortable with powders. But as I have shown in another tutorial, I have started using the M.A.C. And I love it. And that's from a store-bought makeup, not a department store makeup or a specialty brand like M.A.C. And I love it. I actually love it a little bit more than I do love my M.A.C now. But that's only because it's my newest one. And you always, when it's new, it's always your favorite. But if you can see how my foundation I applied, professionals have matched my foundation. If you're buying any foundation from a store, don't be afraid to buy a couple of shades and work and maybe buy 2 other ones to find your perfect shade. And then once you do that, then you can then decipher if you want to use the same technique that I use with powders. So right now I'm basically making sure the makeup is applied all over my forehead, my nose, bridge, over my mouth, my chin, underneath my chin, sides of my face, underneath my eyes. And then I'm going to show you one more technique I do that I've shown in another video to tone down your highlighter. I never leave my highlighter this bright. So a trick I do is I use a little bit of powder foundation and I lightly dust over my brow to tone it down a little bit. So can you see the difference of how this looks dramatic and this looks a little bit more natural? And that's just a trick that I do. And I'll do this side so you can see what I mean. Lightly dust your foundation, powder foundation, slightly over your brow, and it makes it look way more natural. So when somebody is looking at you up close, you want people to know you got makeup on, but you don't want them to think that you got 2 inches of makeup on your face. And not to knock any ladies. Some ladies have to wear a lot of makeup because they have skin problems, rosacea, they have a hyperpigmentation, all kinds of things. But if you don't have those issues, you don't need to put layers and layers and layers of makeup on. I think those ladies are just showing ladies who have problem skin what you can do to get it all even. But if you don't have problematic skin, these are just my techniques that I do to make sure you have a flawless looking complexion while you make your makeup and it look natural. And you know, my brows still stay defined. That's why I do it in a sweeping motion. And that's pretty much it in terms of the whole foundation thing. Before I even start the contouring, I do want to add my blush. Now this blush I keep in a baggie only because it has cracked and it's really time for me to get it. But I'm being so cheap that I am using it till almost all of it's gone. But it is something that I have basically run out of, that I've used it so much that only the outskirts of the powder was basically left. I don't even want to show it. You can kind of see it a little bit. Was left, and it finally broke. So all I do is really real quick with my, I'm going to make sure I do this over a trash can so it doesn't really get on my carpet. But all I do is really lightly just dust it inside of it to get that loose pigment. And if you want to preserve your blush like I'm doing, that's one way to do it. Make sure you do it over a trash can or a sink. But my blush is ambering. Gosh, let me close it to make sure. The color is called Ambering Rose. Yeah, Ambering Rose. I've been using this color forever. So hopefully before I end this video, you can kind of see what it looks like. And I'm using an angled powder brush. And all I'm doing is going in an upward sweep. You see that? I'm going to continue with this in my other video. And that's what that looks like in terms of my blush. I'm all about the natural. So I'll be right back for my next video.